Us.
Hi, young people. We're happy to be here with you. I love the image that Gabe gave about the rays, and I loved hearing Father's story. I was raised Catholic, so I don't have quite as much excitement about going from one church to another, but I'm very happy that he came into the church, because that's the work that I do now. I do RCIA in a parish in Dallas, and I get to also hear people's stories about why they want to become Catholic, and every time I hear what God has done in their lives, I'm so grateful of what I have as a Catholic. But I didn't always appreciate what I had. I went to Catholic elementary school and Catholic high school. I grew up in the area of Dallas, Richardson. I went to Bishop Lynch High School. That was my high school. But I just thought that was all it was you go to this Catholic school and you learn about your faith. And so my faith was all in my head. And I can tell you the answer. I can get a good grade in religion class. But it didn't really have an effect in my heart. And it didn't. This is very ironic. Not until I went to my first public school, was college. I figured after 12 years of Catholic school, I thought, Mom and Dad, it's okay, I think I've got it by now. I won't leave the church. I think I understand. You can send me to public school now. And I went to Texas Tech University in Lubbock. That was it was kind of hard for me to learn how to not wear a school uniform and figure out what to wear every day. That was the biggest challenge on the first day of college. So it really wasn't very hard for me to put on a habit. Yeah, I've been wearing a school uniform for so many years. Sure, I can do that. That's a little joke there. Okay, I'll tell you my sad story of how I chose what I wanted to study. I also, the thing about Father saying, if you have some resistance, it doesn't mean you don't have a vocation, that God has been calling you to religious life or priesthood. So I didn't want to be a religious because I thought that's going to be a boring life. And the highlight of my life was always to think, what's the next exciting thing that's going to go on that I can have fun with? And avoid boredom at all costs. So in my mind, being a religious would be very boring. And I didn't want to be bored. I thought all they do is pray. You know, they're so out of touch. So that was because my faith was in my head, not in my heart. I hadn't fallen in love yet. So here's my thing about choosing colleges. Don't do what I did. Okay. I had two good friends. One was going to go to North Texas State. One was going to go to Texas Tech. I thought, well, I got to go somewhere where I know one of my friends. So I applied to both of them. I got accepted. And then a week before high school, graduation from high school, one of the friends said, I'm not going to go to college. I'm getting married. I said, oh no, I guess I need to have to go to the other school. That's really ridiculous. I think some of you you think more about your future. And in our little groups, I don't know what I'm going to do, but at least you're thinking. So don't do like I did and just make a decision like that. But it's to show me that God was still leading me, because that's where I got my vocation. When I got involved in campus ministry in the campus parish, to me it was really cool because all the parishioners were the same age, 20. And if we didn't do it, things didn't get done in the parish. It wasn't like this group of older people that were going to do everything in the parish, the campus parish. We had to live our faith. So that was very exciting to me, and that's when I got to know Jesus as a real person. He was no longer just a God that was way up there, that I hoped he blessed me, but I began to meet him in a real way. And it was a lot of the influence was fellow peers that had a living relationship with God. And even if they weren't all Catholics, I thought, gosh, you read the Bible and you pray? Why are you doing that? Maybe I should do that too. So it was this good peer pressure that was going on in my life. So after I graduated, I finished with a degree in nursing. Some of the girls in my group said they were thinking about nursing as a possibility. I was very involved in the campus Catholic ministry, and there was a group of sisters that came to our campus parish, and they really scared me because they made me nervous. I said, you know, I have to say my past growing up, I knew some sisters, and now I know Jesus in a real way, and I want to do whatever he wants me to do, but I don't know about that. What's it going to mean if I say yes to that? And I just couldn't let it pass me by. I had to say, well, maybe if this God who has captured my heart and has excited my life that I want to share the Catholic faith, maybe he will be there if I enter a religious community. And that was like, duh. He's the spouse. I'm the bride of Christ, only by God's grace, and he's my spouse. So I had to get over this kind of prejudice that I had in my mind. So after I paid off my student loans, I also had a student loan. Try not to get those. Try not to get student loans. Really, they can hinder vocations. Because you have to pay them off. And guess what? If you're paying those loans off for years, you're going to say, well, this guy is really cute. I think I should marry him. You know, and God never, comes down and you didn't get what I wanted you to do. He doesn't ever punish us that way or say you missed it. But it's a place where we're going to be our happiest. So I never thought the religious life would be as exciting as I have lived it. I didn't know when I woke up this morning that I would be here, because Gabe just asked me last night at 11 something via email, and I didn't stay up waiting for that email. I was, oh my gosh. Well, there's no reason why I can't go. So let me be with my young brothers and sisters. So I think I've told you enough. It's an exciting life, and young men who are in the room, you had the example of a holy priest, but religious brotherhood is also a possibility. If you don't feel called to the priesthood, there's a way that you can serve like I serve without ordination. So anyone have any questions for me that you would like to ask? Oh, I also want to advertise, young ladies, we have a retreat day, free, you get free food. It's not too far away, and I'll leave these, it's on May the 4th, it's a Saturday, all day Saturday. So I am the sister of the Holy Family of Nazareth, and the main way that we serve the church is by strengthening the life of the family. So I do it by teaching the Catholic faith. Back to any questions you'd like to ask me, because I think there's one more speaker. Yes?
How did you know that was the way you were to learn?
That's a good question, but I kind of tell this little joke. It's not really a joke, but it's a comparison. How many people are in the world? Does anybody know? It's like 5 billion. 7 billion. 7 billion people in the world. So 50% males and females. 3.5 billion if you're a lady. It's a lady asking a question. If you're called to marriage, there's 3.5 billion men that are possible husbands, right? How do you make such a decision? So just use that little, you get to know some. And as you get to know young men, you realize what you're looking for. You want a man of God, right? So it's similar. There's not 3.5 billion religious communities. But it is kind of different to figure that out. So you talk to them. Now you have the internet. You don't even need to, but see, that's more kind of like anonymous. Like, well, I'm just going to look around and this, you really have to get out of your comfort zone and meet some sisters and talk to them. That's the only way you're going to learn well about how they live the gospel, because that's what we're all doing. We're living the gospel of Jesus Christ. Okay, what else? Yes?
When Jesus asked you to leave water, did you cry?
See, I didn't really think, oh yes, they're asking me to repeat the questions. When Jesus asked me to be his wife, did I cry? was that the whole question? See, that was one of those things that like the sunrise, I didn't really see that right away at first. Until the day that I made my first profession of vows, and I got it. I am about to profess my vows, but my husband is invisible. You know? But it's a real relationship. Because you offer your life to Jesus. Jesus, you're my spouse. I'm in it's like a mystical marriage with Jesus. It's cool for young ladies, you know. We have this natural thing to say, we're married to Jesus. The guys say, no, we're married to a church, like a building. But it's much more romantic for the ladies to say, we're married to Jesus Christ. What kind of got me first was seeing that I had part of my first name had sister before it. Like, oh my gosh, did that really happen to me? You know, so just like you're all from families. I know it because none of us got here without the help of our mother and our father. So the love that your mother and father have for each other gives you confidence, and you can be peaceful and calm when your parents love each other. So in my case, my love for Jesus is what gives me the ability to share the faith with others. If I don't love my Lord in prayer, and just in my everyday life that I show that I love Him, I don't have anything to offer anyone else. So just like a wife has to stir up her love for her husband, she doesn't always think he's as she is on the honeymoon, right? The honeymoon goes up like this, you know, right? Our feelings go up and down. Ladies in the room, is that true? Our feelings go up and down? Okay, so we have to say, I've made a decision. And yes, it's awesome to me to think that Jesus wanted me to live this way and to be His bride. He's the only man on earth. He's the God man. He's the only God man who can have many brides. And you know what? We don't fight with each other. Well, yes, we have our disagreements, but not about He loves me more. That's what's awesome about God. Yes?
Does the ring on your finger sign?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The ring on my finger is a sign of my consecration to Jesus. It's written in Latin. This is what my communities, not everyone will be exactly the same. This is from the Song of Songs. When you were young, if you went to Vacation Bible School and you sang the song, I'm my beloved's and He is mine, His banner over me is love. If you remember that scripture, it's from the Song of Songs. Delectus mihi et ego ili, my beloved to me and I to Him. Song of Songs, I think it's, I'm not exactly sure. You got me. I'll look it up now. Okay. What else, ladies? Anyone? Okay, usually, thank you. How many years are you in training to be a sister? It depends on what the community does. Like some communities, like Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity, they're not required to have a high school or a college degree, but some communities do professional work. If we're teaching in the schools, we have to be as professionally trained as the other people, right? So religious formation is usually about 2.5 to 3 years of postulancy, novitiate, before making first professional vows. Does anybody know what the 3 vows are? There's one. Poverty, chastity, and obedience. The big O word. Okay, did you have a question in there? Oh, I thought you were raising your hand. Okay. There's one there.
Do you get to choose your own name? Do you change your name when you become a sister, or do they give you a name?
In my case, my community said that I could give some suggestions about what I would prefer. So we're not quite sorry, the question was about the changing of our names. Do we get to change our own names? Like our new pope was asked, what name will you be called? He had complete choice to say what he wanted his name to be. But in some religious communities, sometimes the Mother Superior will name the new sisters, or the friar priest will name the new brothers, just like parents name their child, you know. But sometimes, in my case, I was able to give suggestions, and I wanted something about John Paul II. You know, I wanted Paul in my name. And Mary too. I didn't want it to be too masculine, right? Okay. I think is there another person that speaks? I kind of don't know about the time here. Who's the time? I know, but somebody tell me I'm not over time.
If there's like one or two more questions, that's fine.
Okay. Yes.
So when you're a college choice, like you want to do something while you're done, so like you need to get that.
Absolutely, absolutely. It kind of depends on when she asked about choosing a college major. Do you have to get a degree first? Or, you know, does everybody hear what her question was? Okay. It kind of depends when you answer the call and which community you feel called to. Some of the Mother Teresa's missionaries and charities have master's degrees, but others don't. So it's not like nothing is ever wasted in God's ways. So it kind of depends. But if you are thinking of religious vocation, the best thing to do is to get this group of sisters that kind of are your friends, and you know how does your community serve, and you keep in contact with them as you're going to college. So maybe you would have 2 years of college and then enter a community, and then you'd finish. It kind of varies on what you feel your gifts from God are and which community you join. Any more? Yes, young lady.
So your daily life, what is it normally?
What is our daily life? What is it like? It's a blending of our prayer life. It's our love with Jesus. It's community life, our life with the other sisters, and then it's some sort of a ministry. I'm in a community that's active, that serves in many different ways: teaching, nursing, social work, parish ministry, catechetics. So, but that's not so strange to your life. Here you are spending your Sunday night with other teens and people who love Jesus. So you're fostering your spiritual life. Then you have your family life too, right? You're a member of your family, and you build up your family by serving your family, and you have your education. So it's not that different. We wake up early to pray morning prayer together. We have our own prayer with Jesus in our chapel, and we pray morning prayer and evening prayer together in our chapel. That's from the Liturgy of the Hours. So we eat together, we cook for each other, we buy groceries. You know, we have a family life among the sisters, so that we can reach out and encourage other families when their family life is difficult. Okay, so come join us if you have more questions. Come and make a retreat. No commitment for this day-long retreat. Okay, who's the next speaker?